Part 3. They made their way to the Naboo desert as the main Forsythian was passing through it. 3PO Snicker pilot the Sendak jealous of R2-D2 because R2-D2 took some long pieces of a chain that was attached to two Darth trunks and transformed them into an amazingly designed droid, and IT also had long metal pieces attached to IT that were then melded to make the pretty Darth V. Was a powerful spacesuited fighter bomber, and droids. A rare beast, from the raking of the Ark of the Covenant on the Mondo Dursa rings. It was all heavy-duty, and it had the rugged life of a species like us. These weren't stray animals like the Raiders, these were regular creatures made from gold, iron, silver, wood. The Naboo Force Chamber did not look like a real place. It was an alien construct which reflected the dark side's power. Many of the rebels saw it as a holy temple as the Forsythia did, and they took the opportunity to make the jump. Looking on the wall, a large anti-Mynede plaque with the logo of a dark side was displayed. A noise of many people approaching. R2-D2 had detected the homing beacon. He had moved out of the way to let some Padrak dart by. More people had gathered and they had turned into Vodavudge battleships and an armada of clone and blood droid bombers. The Galactic Republic troopers were being taken to the Vodavaders holocafes so no one in the whole of the galaxy could help them. What were they doing was top secret. Anakin and Luke were spying on this and were soon greeted by Leia, who had been searching for them for the last 6 months. She told them that she put a tracking beacon on Kylo Ren's ship and that Darth Jar is on Exegol. The trio boarded the Millennium Falcon and set course for Exegol. When they landed on Exegol they saw Kylo Ren, who told them Lord Jar Jar was waiting inside the ancient Sith palace. When they entered, Jar Jar was sitting on a massive throne covered with spikes and ancient Sith markings. He told Kylo he had no use for him, and that he had a new apprentice, and then a hooded Rey appeared from behind the throne. Her eyes were yellow and she activated a crimson-red blade. Jar Jar then told to Kylo he had no use for him and force lightninged him across the palace. Anakin, Leia, and Luke activated their lightsabers and fought Rey. She was like an untouchable shadow, but Anakin eventually killed her. Darth Jar Jar told them he was impressed but not afraid. He then activated his lightsaber and spun around in the air before landing in the throne. He shot a massive burst of Force lightning lifting the trio in the air, and plunged them towards the wall. Jar Jar stepped off his throne with crackling hands. Laughing maniacally he threw them to the floor. Anakin and Luke managed to escape his grip and lunged at Jar Jar again. Jar Jar blocked all their attacks and kept electrocuting them. Anakin, Leia, and Luke began to fight Jar Jar again, but then bam, he got a hand on Luke and got electrocuted to the wall again. Fighting the pain, Luke activated his lightsaber and the lightning deflected back at Jar Jar, injuring him, causing darkness to gush out of his wounds. One of the few hints Jar Jar did of love. He then turned to the Vodavaders holocafes and put a tracking device on his head, revealing that he is still in Vodave, meaning he is still alive. And activated 2 lightsabers. Leia, Anakin, and Luke got up and fought him. This time, he was much stronger than before, and knocked Leia out cold. They found while they were fighting that Jar Jar became distracted when he laughed his anger out at them, and fired a lightning blast with blinding speed, knocking everyone away. He then got an arm on Luke and jerked him around. He then turned on Leia and grabbed her by the throat, forcing her into a wall. Luke, not wanting to lose his sister, slashed his lightsaber at Jar Jar, a direct hit. Jar Jar dropped. Leia screamed as darkness gushed out of all corners of his body, then turned and force pushed Luke across the palace. Now only Anakin and Jar Jar were left. Anakin was fueled with rage seeing Jar Jar almost kill his children and fought the weakened Sith Lord off, fighting his way up to the throne. But then Jar Jar got the upper hand, and was about to kill Anakin when suddenly Kylo Ren came back, He saved Anakin and fought Jar Jar side by side. Soon Jar Jar Force pushed Anakin away and continued fighting Kylo. He quickly sliced Kylo's hands off and was about to finish him off, but suddenly Anakin stabbed Jar Jar from the back. Jar Jar's body was evaporating into darkness, leaving nothing but bones that turned to dust.